The Leafs offseason isn't over yet, with them making a huge re-signing, and all signs point to it not being over yet. Plus, there's been a huge prospect swap between the Pittsburgh Penguins and the Winnipeg Jets, and we're going to break it all down for you guys coming up on this episode of Hat-Trick HQ. But before we get into it, we got a word from our sponsor, Fume. Are you trying to kick a bad habit to the curb? You need to check out Fume. Fume is an award-winning flavored air device, and the flavored air category is quickly becoming the alternative to vaping and smoking. If vapor was compared to sticky soda, Fume cores are closer to herbal teas. Fume has lots of delicious flavors to choose from crisp mint to cinnamon hearts. They have a flavor for you. With flavored air, you can satisfy your oral fixation through a passive diffusion system that utilizes no electronics, no vapor, and no combustion. Fume has been backed by many doctors within the United States, and they continue to invest into third-party studies to ensure the safety of their products. My favorite thing about Fume is their delicious flavor cores. You can use them anywhere, at work, at home, or just on the go. Fume also is made to fidget with through its magnets, snaps, and clicks to just calm your anxiety. Fume has served over 300,000 customers, and you can be their next success story. For a limited time, you can use my code DIGEST to get your free topper accessory. It's the perfect accessory to your Fume device. Slip it onto the mouthpiece for a softer, warmer feel. It's chewable for those who love to fidget, and it's reusable. Head to tryfume.com. That's tryfum.com to get this exclusive offer by using my code DIGEST to get your free topper accessory with the purchase of a journey pack. And once again, a huge thank you to Fume for sponsoring this video. And once again, a huge shout out to Fume for sponsoring this video. If you want to get that exclusive offer, make sure to go down and check out the pinned comment and the description. But with that said, let's jump right into the first topic of the video today, Mark, which is huge Jets-Pens trade. And yes, this is something I wasn't really expecting today, and a lot of NHL fans weren't really expecting today, was a trade to happen swapping two prospects. That's something that I didn't expect when I woke up this morning. But as we take a look here from the GOAT himself, Elliotte Friedman, earlier today he said he's working on more, but hearing Rutger McGroarty is being traded from Winnipeg to Pittsburgh, then the full details of the trade did break, which was a 1-for-1 swap with Pittsburgh receiving Rutger McGroarty and Winnipeg receiving Braden Yager. And obviously these have been two great young prospects here that have been coming up. A lot of talk around these guys. Obviously Rutger McGroarty being the more notable name, I would say, with how he played in the World Juniors for USA. There's been so much talk around this guy, him not finding that contract in Winnipeg, then requesting a trade out because he didn't think a deal was going to happen. Now we see that trade happening for a 1-for-1 swap. And if we just take a look at what Pittsburgh did after, once they traded him, they locked him up. They got him on his 3-year entry-level deal with an A performance bonus with $500K, which will put him at around 1.45 million AAV over 3 years. Obviously, that entry-level deal, you know, you can mix it up a little bit, but it's usually around 900. It's a 950K cap hit, but he is getting 1.45 million if he does hit those performance bonuses. And if we take a look at his stats here, obviously, kid of the Michigan Wolverines down in the NCAA here. He had 39 points in 22-23, 18 goals, 21 assists, and then this past season in 36 contests, he had 52 points, a huge jump with 16 goals, 36 assists. This is a guy who's kind of like a utility, a Swiss Army knife type of forward. We've seen him play center, we've seen him play wing, so it'll be interesting to see how the Pittsburgh Penguins implement him into their lineup if he does make it coming out of training camp this year. And then as we just jump to Braden Yager here before we break it down, this is a guy who was on the Moose Jaw Warriors, was assistant captain on this team, and helped them this season in their playoffs and to win a cup, I I believe they actually won the cup this year. And in this season, he had 95 points in 57 games. I mean, a huge stat line for the kid here. A centerman, a pure center. So maybe something Winnipeg was more looking for than just, a winger. So he's had 35 goals, 60 assists just this past season. And Mark, I know it's a lot of information to digest here, but it just seems like this trade is going to benefit both clubs evenly.
Yeah, when you look at this from like kind of the Winnipeg Jets side starting off, is the biggest thing they're getting a prospect, a former, I believe he's 14th overall pick. He's a young guy that they can kind of develop and get into their system when they're ready. The biggest thing with McGroarty was they didn't have room for him. McGroarty wanted to kind of get into a system, start playing in the NHL. He's going to get that chance with Pittsburgh. We're seeing Kyle Dubas go out this offseason and the previous offseason and get some aging veterans, guys that can help make a push, but getting McGroarty into this Pittsburgh saying when a guy that can go into this top six, the middle six, even the bottom six to contribute now, be a young piece that they can continue to build around while they have Crosby's windows, Malkin, Carlson, these aging guys that are still looking to compete. You add a young piece that can play within the system, a guy that's going to fit good. He's a bit of a winger that needs to work on his skating, but he's a great passer. He's a great playmaker in general. So getting him into this team to help contribute offensively, work on his defensive game, get his skating going, and anyone playing with Crosby is going to compete and be able to play. So having this young guy come in, be mentored by some of these guys, to have this window continue to be open and still have this young prospect pool that he's trying to rebuild for the future is going to be awesome for Pittsburgh. With the Jets, they do lose out on a guy like McGroarty, but they do get Jaeger, or like I said, a guy they can build around. And with a guy like McGroarty wanting to be moved, getting back a former top 15 draft pick is an awesome pick and an awesome pickup, I should say, for the Winnipeg Jets as they continue to try and compete again.
Yeah, it just seems like they're swapping players with the same type of ceiling here. Both of these guys are projected to play in the NHL. It's just what kind of position and what kind of player that the team needs. And like you said, making this swap just makes 100% sense. I think that McGroarty is much needed in Pittsburgh because, as we've been joking about here on the channel, we've been calling the Pittsburgh Penguins the retirement home Penguins for what seems like a whole last season, but they need to get younger if they do want to compete. And now bringing in such a highly touted prospect in Rutger McGroarty is definitely going to help with that. And I definitely do think that, Winnipeg bringing in a guy from the WHL, kind of, I guess, homegrown talent, I guess you could say, in that WHL system. That's what they know. They know the Western Hockey League. We see a lot of these Western teams draft guys from this. So this is a guy they definitely had their eyes on, but didn't have the chance to, take that swipe at him and get him on that team. But now they do. So I think this is definitely a great 1-for-1. I think we're going to see some great improvements out of both of these guys here. And I think this trade was definitely a very interesting one, but was definitely one that definitely needed to happen. And I'm just excited to see these young guys get to work here and make their way to the NHL. But we want to hear your guys' thoughts on the trade down below in the comment section. We're going to get into the second topic of the video today, which is the Leafs make a sneaky signing. And yes, we did a video, I think it was yesterday or a day before, where we said, the Leafs offseason isn't over yet. And today we seen that because they made a re-signing of Alex Steeves. And if we just take a look here at the trade, at the signing, we're all mixed up here. At the signing, they got Steeves, 24 years old, on an NHL deal for 1 year at the league minimum of $775,000. And Mark, last year Steeves was a guy we talked about quite a bit. I mean, if we just take a look here in the AHL with the Marlies last year, he had 27 goals, 57 points in 65 contests. And as they say here, it seems like the Leafs have some more stuff to do here before the offseason ends, with Nick Robertson obviously still being an RFA, needs a contract, as well as Semyon Ardachintsev. Sorry if I'm saying that wrong. I think I might have nailed that one, Mark. But Mark, what do you think about this Alex Steeves signing? I think it's something that we've kind of seen coming, but it was definitely well needed that this needed to happen. He just played so well last year, and it's great to see the kid get another shot here.
When I'm looking at Steve's, I'm almost looking at this as a Bobby McMahon 2.0, a guy that's excelled in the AHL and hasn't really had his chance in the NHL. The biggest question with the Leafs is obviously that third line left wing. We're seeing so many names being thrown around. Pontus Holmberg, maybe Bobby McMahon gets the spot. Who really knows how they're going to fill this out? So I use this as just kind of insurance on a guy like Nick Robertson. Obviously, Nick Robertson has asked to be traded from the Leafs. He said he refuses to sign his contract with the Leafs. So I think this is Brad Treliving looking at a guy like Robertson and saying, hey, we understand we want you. We understand you're not happy. We have wingers that can replace you, and that's Alex Steeves. This is a guy that could come in and light it up. He could score 15, 20 goals in the right system with the Leafs. If he plays in the top six, I think he could definitely score 15 goals. But the biggest thing is they still need to figure out what's happening with Nick Robertson. Day by day, his value seems to be dropping. This is a guy that was once studded as one of the best goal scorers on the Leafs when he was drafted. We've seen injuries kind of knock him out. He hasn't found his footing under a guy like Sheldon Keefe when he was the coach here. So maybe the Leafs are slowly trying to just entice him with new coaching staff, with a new everything, a new system, new players, everything in between, that maybe he can get his career back on path. But I think either way, if they do sign Nick Robertson, if they don't, Alex Steeves might come in as a dark horse for this team and really produce in a bottom six role more than people are expecting.
Yeah, you really hit the nail on the head there, because Alex Steeves has been a guy, like you said, like Bobby McMahon, who has been working their butt off down below in the farm system, whether it was in the ECHL, whether it's now in the AHL this past season. These guys have worked and improved their game so much to get to that next level in the NHL, and when they get the taste of it, they don't want to leave. I mean, we've seen Bobby McMahon probably be the breakout player of the year for the Toronto Maple Leafs last season. I mean, I don't think I'm too far away from saying that. So you have another guy here in Alex Steeves who is chomping at the bit. He wants to be let out of the cage. He wants to be put in the NHL roster. And once these guys get that taste and they get that feeling for NHL hockey, top level hockey, they want to keep playing it, and they want to keep providing and helping their team succeed to eventually the ultimate goal, which is the Stanley Cup. And I think you said it perfectly. Alex Steeves is very comparable to how we seen Bobby McMahon last year. I think we'll see him come into this lineup if Nick Robertson says, hey, I'm not signing this contract, we need to get traded. Brad says, well, we got Alex here, and he's going to take your position because he wants to play for us. He doesn't care about, the term of the contract. It's only 1 year. He wants to prove himself. He wants to prove that he deserves a position in this lineup. So having this guy who has that extra edge, who's going to come in and try his very hardest to stay up in this lineup, that is exactly what you need. And I think Steeves is a Craig Berube type forward. I think he has that perfect style that Berube is looking for. And I just really like this signing. I can't wait to see this guy get to work, because I think this is a guy we're going to be looking at after he gets in a couple games. Hey, we could see this guy for the rest of the season. But we want to hear your guys' thoughts on it down below in the comment section. What do you think about Alex Steeves? Are you as fired up on him as me and Mark are? Let us know down below in the comment section. We're going to get everybody's favorite topic here, which is comment of the day. And the comment of the day today goes to Travis. Travis says, Laine will be a rock star here. 100%. He says, I don't care what people say about attitude. People said the same thing about Kovalev, and that worked out pretty well. I mean, that comment got me fired up, Mark. You know it did. Because we love Patrick Laine. At least I do. And now he's a Hab, and he's going to make such of an impact for the Montreal Canadiens. I could sit here for hours and tell you how hyped I am on Laine, but appreciate the comment, Travis. Really got me fired up here before I started recording this video with Mark. But if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure down below, hit that like button. It helps push these videos out to all the Leafs fans on YouTube. Comment on the video. You might be featured on the comment of the day, just like our buddy Travis was today. And subscribe to the channel. We're trying to get 5,000 before the end of the summer. We're coming up on the end of the summer. I can't believe it's almost over. But if you're not subscribed and you want to stay up to date, make sure down below, hit that subscribe button. And once again, a huge thank you to Fume for sponsoring this video. Make sure to go down below in the description and in the pinned comment to get yourself an exclusive offer. And as always, I've been your host, KC, alongside my co-host, Mark Pye. Keep your stick on the ice.